Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. Welcome to this series of newspaper analysis. Today in Indian Express there are various important news which I will discuss here, and it also in this newspaper there are different news which I have discussed already in my previous lectures, but the news which come repeatedly there only I will make you revise certain points, certain new points, but overall the points which I have discussed that are same. So starting with this, the first page of this Indian Express. So let us now start newspaper analysis. So if you come to the first page, first they are today, as we have discussed that on July 1st, this CRPC, IPC, and new codes which are going to be implemented from July 1st. So today onwards, this new laws will be get implemented. So this I have discussed what is Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, what is Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita, and what is Bharatiya Saksh Adhiniyam, which I have also discussed about what was its previous name, like IPC, CRPC, Indian Evidence Act. That you should remember, which mainly comes in your prelims exam, in your PT exam of state PCS also. And now coming to the second that I have already discussed, so I am leaving that part. Now if you come to the one news item is there, that is of NCRT report, that NCRT has created a new kind of a card, like when you are going to take admission in other classes, like you are passing the ninth classes and getting admitted into 10th classes, then you are given that report card. In that report card your that marks are given, that your academic sessions in which you have passed, in which subject how much numbers you have got, that are given that report card. Now NCRT has brought some new initiatives which is called your HPC card, that is holistic progress card. In this holistic progress card, what they will do, that this card will not decide your that next academic sessions, if you are getting admission in other classes after passing your previous classes, that mainly will decide on your that card, that your report card which you are getting after passing the exam. But this holistic progress card, it will also give you a kind of in academic sessions what that curriculum activity you have participated, how means you have acquired different skills, how you have performed in your that curriculum activity in your classroom program. That's kinds of things it will deal with. So it's the part of government's effort. Now it is going to that implement in that in government schools. Afterwards it's like a pilot project. Afterwards it will be implemented in overall that school curriculum. So though, so that NCRT has named this holistic progress card as a PARAK, PARAKH. This is important for your prelims or your PT, that they will ask you about PARAK and say what it denotes. Recently, it was seen in the news. So they will give you options and you have to mark the correct option. So this you remember PARAK. So it is named of that holistic progress card. So this holistic progress card will reflect more than just marks scored in school level and board examinations. So how you have managed your time, how you have understand the value of money, what different skills you have acquired, how you were performing in like in that other curricular activities. That's it will mentions here. So it is as name suggests only, it's a holistic progress card, what your progress were there in your classroom. So it's deal with that things only. So this much only you have to know. Now second, if you see then that in now that upcoming BPSC exams, if questions are also coming about the means a great personality. So here if you see then that 30th chief of army staff, the 30th chief of the army staff, that has taken over that earlier that chief of the army staff was General Manoj Pandey. So he was 29th chief of the army staff. Now 30th chief of army staff is General Upender Dwivedi. So this you remember, this your name you can remember, because in one options when they are asking about the army general, then they can ask you a name also. So these are the big posts. So you have to remember this name. Mainly in a state PCS they usually ask this kind of questions. So here if you see the General Upender Dwivedi. Dwivedi. So he has been chosen as a 30th chief of the army staff. So this were your second news. So see, I am discussing those news in short, that in short note only, because this much is only important for your exam perspective. So these things you should remember here. Now coming to the third news, on page one, nothing more important after this news. Now coming to the second page, no important news are there on second page, nothing on third page also. In fourth page mainly the city, the local news are there. That means fifth page also the city news are there, nothing important. Sixth, seventh advertisement page. Eight, on page number 8 also nothing important. On page number 9 also political news are there, not important. Now coming to the page 10 editorial page, here also if you see then not important editorial, because they are talking about the T20 World Cup, which that India has won that World Cup. So they are talking about that only. So for your exam perspective, yes, for interest, for your awareness, you can read this article. For yes, that for your comprehension also, that you are practicing the comprehension, for that you can read this article. So on page 10 editorial page, nothing important. Coming to the page 11th, one article is written on forest fire. That is important here. If you're not important for your prelims perspective, but you come to the mains perspective, then in disaster management they are asking you about in if you go to that geography sections also, then there they can also ask you about this forest fire of that, how it can be mitigated, what are the different methods to that control the forest fires. So in there the mitigation measures, you can mention these points here. So here I will give you important points, because it is also a very long article, that editorial, but the points which are important for your answer writing, that I will give here. So let us start with this forest fires and its mitigation. So if you come to this forest fire, then you will that see in news only that frequently the news are coming about the forest fires, either in India or in any parts of the world also. So and where you have earlier not experienced also that there any forest fire can happen, there also forest fire are happening. Like in, you can say that in Uttarakhand regions, where you imagine that that is a cold region. In western country also, that much you can say that heat is not there, that much sun isolation is not there, that insulation is not there. In that area also, that forest fires are now frequently occurring. So if you come to this news articles, then they here that author has talked about that how these forest fires can be mitigated, and what are the different concerns, and what are the different regions that these fires are now becoming more prone, and that so frequently it is occurring. So first of all, you can see that forest fire is not always a natural cause. The forest fire can also happen uh, by a natural cause. It can also happen as that by, you can say, that human cause, that is a natural cause, artificial cause, like man-made cause, you can say man-made cause. So these are the here this not only for natural cause but also through man-made cause. It's also, so it's also natural disasters, it can say. So forest fires are now becoming perennial, means it's not that certain that specific means seasons are responsible here, but man-made cause, if you see, then in any seasons they put fire in the forests. So many regions are there. If we come to the regions of forest fire, regions for forest fire, see, I'm writing in the point form because you can explain when you are writing the answer. But if you are remembering the points either of 5 to point 7 points, then obviously you can extend it and you can write it as in answer form when they are asking you write in 150 words or 250 words. So coming to this the causes of the regions for forest fire, then you can say that naturally it is there, or it is said that deliberate setting of fire by the people. So when you come to the natural causes, then you can say that the temperature has increased now. If you have read that environment part also, then you have seen that, then you are seeing that how temperature is increasing of earth, how global warming is increasing. So that's also the natural cause of that forest fires, but it is mainly induced by the human only, the human activity only. So you can include in it in both your natural cause also and man-made cause also. So temperature soaring means increasing of temperature, global warming, you can say, climate change, you can say, climate change is there, global warming is there. So these are you can include it in a natural cause. Now, and now in that especially in Uttarakhand region, if you talk of Uttarakhand region, then you are knowing that in on that temperate region there are cheer pine trees are there, and the leaves of cheer pine tree, that needles that of cheer pine trees, that are very inflammable, means that are very prone to the catching the fire, because that the cheer pine, that needles that are containing oil, and which that oil are very much, we can say that it that accelerate the fire, means it is very prone to catching the fire. So the leaves of the that cheer pine trees are inflammable, and people are careless with their cigarettes also. So cigarettes butts. So if you coming to that, especially for Uttarakhand region, then you can mention here the of cheer pine trees, that their leaves, their needles, so that are very much cheer pine trees inflammable. Example, you can say that in Uttarakhand region, or on that, or you can say that any mountainous region also. So, and if you coming to the man-made cows, then you can that the people are careless with their cigarette butts. They are that are smoking the cigarettes, and they are leaving that birds on that they are burning that cigarettes, and they are leaving only if you see roadside also, then they are doing like that only. They are burning the cigarettes, and the what butt are left at last, then they are leaving that butt, and they are not uh, means that discarding it in proper way. So that cigarette butts are there. So if you come to this man-made reason, then cigarette butts are mainly responsible for causing the forest fire. And it is also that the means some you can say that deliberate effort is there. Deliberately the people are causing, deliberately the people are responsible, deliberately sometimes the some deliberately the people sometimes lit up the fire, lit up the fire for their selfish cause, for their selfish cause. Either some kinds of human animal conflict that they are experiencing, then they think that if fire if the forest will be burned, then obviously they can be prevented. Sometimes for food, for that fossils, for you can say that some kind of that fodder they want, then they clear the forest. For clearing they burn the forest. Sometimes the industries are industrialist, or you can say that some capitalists, they want to shift their factories, or you can say that some mining activities they want, some kind of excavation they want, then obviously they clear the forest. So they deliberately burn those kinds of, so they lead up the fire for their selfish goal. So these are the man-made cows here. Now coming to the some if you come to some more cause, then you can say that uh, many causes are there, like coordinations are not, that are mainly the concerns why this, when the fires are happening, then why the agencies which are mainly responsible for that making that forest fire to stop, that agency is not working properly. They do not have that advocacy of that physical resources, that is lack of physical resources provided to the firefighters. And also that the economic and human cost of the poor physical infrastructure is very, that means it's a very means a cause of this, the why the forest fires also not a step stopping. And that public private partnerships are also not very good. So if you come to the, these are the causes, many more causes you can think and you can write also. So which causes they have mentions here, that I have included here. But when you have read your that in your you can say that in your environment part or in your geography part, there from there also many causes you have read about. So now coming to this, what are the different means concern why these forest fires are not getting stopped. So what are the concerns and what are the loopholes, you can say. So loopholes, if you come into the, what are the loopholes for not controlling the forest fire. So first, if you come to then here's the lack of coordination between, lack of coordination between different agencies of the government. Second, inadequacy of the physical resources provided for the provided for the firefighting, provided for the firefighters. And third, if you come to the reason, then it is saying the economic and human cost of the poor physical infrastructure. And finally, you can say the public-private cooperation. Public-private cooperation. Also, next point, if you come, then it is saying the lack of trained manpower. Lack of trained manpower. Inadequacy of equipment. Then here you can write this point, but separately also you can mention here that inadequacy of equipment. And it is also said that mostly what is happening, that at a rural region, or when there is a forest region, then there mainly this government that this government public corporation which are mainly responsible for controlling the fire. So they are mainly you can say mostly they are uh, voluntarily means what manpower they are employing or they are taking. So they are mainly the people who are living in that forest area only, mainly the rural people only, so they are not having that kind of training also. So that mostly the volunteers are there, means daily wage earner kind of a people are there, so they do not have that kind of training are given, not you can say that of that the safety equipments are given like fire resistant cloth, masks or oxygen. So many times what happening, so lack of these kinds of the basic the necessity the these kinds of equipments which can give them a safety, that if they are not having those kinds of equipment, then obviously many times the firefighters they only die at the spot when they are stopping that fires. So you can say that the means no fire resistant clothes to the volunteer, no fire resistant clothes, masks or oxygen to volunteers who are daily wage earners. So these are the reasons also. Now here concerns you have seen what are the limitations, loopholes. Now coming to the way forward, if you give here at last you have to give the suggestions also, at what methods, what mitigations government should adopt. So when you come to these suggestions here, so that here government had should made budgetary provisions to create a modern well trained fighters firefighting capability. So budgetary resources for this um, budget, budgetary resources to be given for creating a modern and well trained fire fighting capability. Second is there that that if you are employing or that if you are employing the villagers who are living in those forest area, then voluntary, if you are employing like a daily wage earners, then you should incentivize them properly, because certain times what happen, the governments say that yes they will employ those people, but the government stops incentivizing. So the villagers have to incentivize to help the government to fight a forest fires. So so villagers should be intensified. So here villagers should be incentivized to help the government fight a forest fire. Fight a So these things you can mention here, and obviously there are more points and number of points can have you can write here, that yes that there should be a community, a group should be created in that forest region, and they should be well trained here. Their safety equipment should be provided to them, and they should be made aware about the that forests fire, that importance of forest, importance of that flora and fauna. So these kinds of campaign, these kinds of activity government can also promote. So and number of points you can write here. getting no. And today also that now government has that ISRO has created certain kinds of that AI technology, certain kinds of that sensors, radar systems around the forest, so that the alert can be provided to the system, that how forest fires, forest fires are that created there, and how that mitigations can be given at that time, how mitigations can be provided. Like today, like by using the helicopters, they are taking the water from the river, oceans, and after they are spreading on this forest fire. So different measures you can write here. So obviously I have taken those measures and I have dictated here, which are mentioned in this article, in this editorial. So you can also mention some different that and some more that way forward, some more suggestions here, what which you have also read in your other that GS papers. So this was all over for this forest fire. Now coming to this one very important article, very important editorial is given here, which is written by the ambassador of Nepal to India. His name is Shankar P Sharma. So he has written a very good editorial here, and this editorial, if you if you completely I can revise this editorial number of times, then obviously you can, because it is written in answer format also only, so you can obviously pick up here the points from here, and you can mention in your answers when in international relations, that are also very important topic for your GS that mains paper. There, and if they are asking about your India Nepal relationship, because the India Nepal relationships are also you can say it frequently occurring in the news paper, because the prime minister of that Nepal, Prachand, who has that included in that new note they have created, rupee note, where some that Kala Pani region, some region of that Uttarakhand or some other state, they have included in that their rupee note. So that kind of issues are going on. Sometimes in their map they are including some regions of India. So that because of that news, it's this topic of that international relations, that, and especially in international relations, this in India Nepal issues, India and Nepal ties, relationships, that becomes a very important topics from your men's perspective. So now coming to this India Nepal ties, I think it is your fourth topic. So India Nepal ties. So uh, here it is very in a very lucid manner, in very you can say that layman language, this ambassador has explained the India Nepal relationships. And also here, if you see, it's not that it has only appreciated, and some that criticisms are also there, some and then conclusions are also written, and what the cooperations and how the historical ties are, that are also mentioned. So it's a proper answer format only. So now coming to the different important points in this India Nepal ties. Now if you see the India Nepal ties here, then the relationships of India have a unique relationship with Nepal. Now like you are aware that if you are going to Nepal, then you do not require visa there. If you are going to Nepal, then obviously you do not require a visa for visiting the Nepal, either for tourism purpose or any economic purpose also. So see, so first you have to mention here that there is a open border, that no border shielding is also there. So and that not that much of kind of formality is also required. So open border, shared culture, economic interdependence, and deep rooted people to people ties, that how people and people are connected either culturally, socially, economically. So from that, if you have read about this, uh, that on in the colonial area, that one that agreement was also happened in colonial area. I think in 18 in 1900 century in yes 1900 century in 1900 years. Then you will see, you have read about there's one agreement was there. Now I am not remembering that name, agreement name, but yes, agreement was there that yes, that Gorkha regiment, which are mainly the residents of that Nepal. So that were also, you can say that, included in our that Indian National Army also at British time. So today also we are that employing deploying those regiment also. So these are the different these people to people contact also. So deep rooted people to people relationship, deep rooted people to people relationship. Now, these are the things how India and Nepal have a unique relationship. Now, coming to the at economic point of view, if you will see, the India Nepal is the largest trading partner. So you can here, like I'm writing in a short point, because if I will write every points in detail, then obviously it will be more time consuming. So short point here I'm writing, so you can extend it, you can elongate it also. Uh, in your own language. So here it is largest trading partner, top source country for tourists, largest trading partners also for tourism. You can say for tourism also, and the largest that foreign investment, comparing with to other countries. India has many, means India is mainly that investing in Nepal. Means Nepal, the foreign investment in Nepal is mainly from India. That it's here it want he wants to tell here that foreign investment, as we if you we see the foreign investment in our country, then mainly that the US, the Mauritius, Singapore. From that reason, mainly the foreign investment comes to our Indian, that our Indian society. But if you come to the Nepal, then Nepal, the foreign investment, the largest foreign investors are from Indian ground only, for Indian soil only. So here it is saying that for tourism, for foreign investment, so it is saying the largest source of total foreign investment, largest source of total foreign direct investments. India also provides transit for almost all the Nepal third country trade accounts, and for a significant share of inward remittances from pensioners to professionals, labor working industries. Or India is also that if come to the third point, then India is also first responder during disasters and emergencies in Nepal. As you have seen that one in 2013 or 14, there was a natural disasters, you can say earthquake in Nepal, and there was a very huge, yes, you can say the consequences of it, that it was a kind of a catastrophic disasters there. It has taken the lives of many people there, that loss of livelihood was there. So India was the first responder to that, to provide the help to the Nepal region. So it, you can also mention here that first responder during disasters and emergencies in Nepal, first responder during disaster and emergencies in Nepal. So this was this you can mention here. They are also giving here that financial package of India, what India have given that time $75 million, that for that they have given for that to develop the infrastructure which was recently hit by the earthquake in Nepal. So that data you not remember, but yes, you can say that the major investment of that India is happening in Nepal, or that first responded when disasters are happening in Nepal, then India is the providing the helping hand to the Nepal here. Now coming to the in this economic sector only, if you see that India's Nepal trade deficit with India is close to 18% of this. So it is said that the Nepal trade deficit with India is close to 18% of the GDP. So there is a huge you can say that trade deficit, because why it is the trade deficit? Due to the inadequate infrastructure, high transaction cost. So it create Nepal a high cost economy. So now Nepal is trying to that reduce that trade deficits by strengthening, or you can say, the cross border digital finance connectivity, tourism's connectivity, remittance flow. So that's the what infrastructure cost, what the more kind of you can say that high transactions cost that Nepal is decreasing now, and some efficiency they are bringing in this respect. So it is saying that they are reducing the cost of doing business and and they are facilitating the people to I. So these things Nepal are doing now. So here you can mention these points. Now coming to the next points. Also recently the Nepal has signed you can say that signed a joint vision statement, because if this point is important, because if you see the PYQ of that UPSC, then recently I think in 2022 or 23 they have asked these questions about that like comprehensive partnership agreement, that free trade agreement which we have signed with other nations. So that are in news currently, which are in news, they are simply taking those points and they are asking. So these things if they are coming into news, that by which country India has signed the recent trade agreements, any kind of trade agreements, either it can be a free trade agreements, either it can be a joint vision trade agreement, or a comprehensive trade agreement. So these things you have to remember here. So here it is saying that joint vision a statement on power sector, joint vision a statement on power sector cooperation. So this was the trade agreement, bilateral trade agreement with India on power sector cooperation. These were the trade agreement with India and Nepal. So it's this trade agreement deals with. So it deals with in production, transmission, and cost. It deals with production, transmission, and it deals with production, transmission, and cross border cross border trading of hydropower. Cross border trading of hydropower. So mainly it was signed in 2022. So there has been a very much progress in this respect, that yes, now India is that buying, or you can say Nepal is selling to India 650 megawatt, which that electricity Nepal has sold to India in 2023. And this 650 megawatt what Nepal has sold to India, that Nepal has earned 10 billion you can say rupees. That's a huge money. So by this way they are also that decreasing the trade deficit, which was a very huge trade deficit, 18% of the GDP. So by this way Nepal is earning also. And another into 2023 another long term power trade agreement was also signed between India and Nepal. And that agreement is that the goal of that agreement is that Nepal will export 10,000 of megawatt of electricity that will be imported to Nepal to India in 10 years. So that is also new initiatives, new kind of agreement here. Now coming to the next point here. So by this Nepal are getting that what financial, what capital, so they are investing these capitals in different projects also. In that way also they are becoming a more industrial kind of a country where new investments are happening, so their trades can be also increased, they can be also become export oriented country also. So so both countries, India and Nepal, have also initiated significant partnership in building cross-border transmission lines. So they are building the cross-border transmission line, building cross-border transmission lines. See, I am explaining all the points, but the points which I am that considering important, that you can remember also, that points I am writing here. So from these points you can elongate here by giving certain examples. So I'm writing those important points here. So building cross border transmission lines, so you know that cross border transmission lines will ease the that cross that transferring that electricity. So investment is there very much in Nepal hydroelectricity production. You know that's Nepal, the Kathmandu region, that is a, you can say, the hilly region. So there when the water, you know that from Himalaya region, because Himalaya is mainly in Nepal region only. So you know that then water is flowing, the river is flowing from very hilly slope area, then obviously that is very much efficient for the hydroelectricity power generations, because that water, the flow of water, that is at very high speed, and that water uh, when comes to the from the very high speed, then they obviously run the turbines. So when the turbine is getting run, then after that electricity is generated. So it's a very you can say that in, so huge investments Nepal are doing in this hydroelectricity productions, and the all of overall its distribution has also increased. It's not that only it is selling to the India, that's what electricity Nepal are generating. No, it's also selling to the Bangladesh region. So one tripartite agreement has also happened between Nepal, India, Bangladesh for this you can say hydroelectricity productions, because India investments are also there. It's not that Nepal only is investing, India investments are also there. India is also getting benefits out of that. So cross border transmission lines are there, tripartite agreement between Nepal, India, and Bangladesh. So uh, these things you should remember here. And you also know that the means BIMSTEC country, SARC country, in SARC that organizations, you know, also know that India is also a member, Nepal is also a member, Bangladesh is also a member. So it's a kind of developing trade relations with that countries, also developing that kind of a grid network with that country also. So renewable energy today, if you due to the climate change, due to global warming, now every country is mainly that changing their the energy production system, their the electricity production systems to the renewable energy production systems. Earlier they were using the fossil fuels, now they are changing that the production systems. So India is also moving towards those that changing of that the production, the generation of those electricity by using the clean energy. So when you are importing that electricity from Nepal or from other regions by using that hydroelectric power generation, then obviously you are mainly that importing that clean energy. Then obviously your that what you have that signed the agreement in that COP like 26, 27, 28. So in that India is also that given a promise that up to 2030, that mainly they are responsible, and they are mainly going to generate those electricity, or mainly they will generate electricity by using that 50% of that renewable sources. The electricity, 50% of total electricity will come through the renewable sources. So this also helps India to reduce pollution and achieve renewable energy goals, what India has been promised in that COP agreement. So So these kinds of things you can mention here also. And if you come to the last year, what Nepal, India has decided to establish and enhance digital financial connectivity. So you know that the UPI India has developed. So many countries are adopting this UPI technology, like in France, if you see in Singapore, that in Sri Lanka they are using now. In Nepal also, India has made agreement that yes, that digital financial connectivity will be enhanced. So enhancing that digital financial connectivity, enhancing digital financial connectivity. So they can that when Indians will visit to Nepal, or Nepalis when Nepal's from Nepal, then the people will come to India, then that payment can be done through mobile by using those UPI ID or these kinds of things. So that hassle-free payments will be there. That Aadhaar cards also, it is saying that Aadhaar cards what Nepali residents can also got that Aadhaar cards by opening the bank accounts in India. So by this way different kind of things can be that reduce the doing the business in Nepal, business in India. So, and it is also saying that two new petroleum pipelines between Siliguri, India, and Jhapa, Nepal, and Khenj is going to be constructed. So so it's in the progress here. So these were the various regions, various kind of you can say the India with respect to the India Nepal ties. So this you can mention here. If you read this article, then easily you can understand here. So these things will only reduce the transportation cost, business, border roads. So everything's if you read every line, then every lines signify, it denotes those statements only. Yes, these overall these things will improve the relationship, this will improve the trade relationships, cross border, that rail systems are also India that has been operational now, and other also rails are being constructed there. So one is Roxol Kathmandu railway, one is that it is being that you can say that completed. Now it has not been completed, but yes, that railway has been completed, and it is directing the rail service from Ayodhya to Janakpur. That is also rail connectivity. So rail connectivity, in that these examples you can write rail connectivity. So at the conclusions, you can write the deep that a relationship between the this country is deep, broad, and wide. There are many concerns of the people, but that can be addressed that gradually, and the momentum of partnership and progress of the recent past must be continued. So these things you can write here. So these was the points of this editorial page. Now if you come to this one very important news were also there concerning those GIB, that Great Indian Bust, in on page 12. Then you will see about the Great Indian Bustard. So what you know, a Great Indian Bustard, and it is also a very important topic for your prelims that exams for UPSC, because in UPSC repeatedly they are asking about these birds related, because it is a critically endangered. So IUCN status is critically endangered, Appendix 1 and Schedule 1. So critically endangered, it is mainly the state bird of Rajasthan. So here the factual that points you have to remember here. Nothing important for your means, but just factual point, because they are mainly repeating these topics, and these are that birds are very much in the news frequently. Previous years also UPSC has asked about these questions. Great Indian Bustard. So it is a state bird of Rajasthan. And if you will see, then it is mainly found in you can say Maharashtra region, Gujarat region, Rajasthan I have talked about, only Andhra region. So these regions you can find these Great Indian Bustards, and mainly 90% of populations are living in Rajasthan. So this thing is about this Great Indian Bustards. So the Ministry of Environment and Forest Change has said that 56 crore 56 crore for the next phase of the conservation of the Great Indian Bustards and lesser florican will be that government has approved that for it will be done for that habitat development, in situ conservation breeding center will be opened. So these kinds of things for conservation only, this much amount as being released. And if you come to this that lesser florican, then lesser florican are endangered species, it in schedule 1 and appendix 2. It's also endemic to Indian subcontinent, endemic to Indian subcontinent, mainly Rajasthan, MP, Gujarat. What are its threats? Threats for both, if you consider for both birds, then threats are what? Habitat degradation and hunting is there. When you come to the threats, then hunting is very much happening. Habitat degradation, you consider habitat destruction. This wire, this very much long wire, and this high tension wire. So high tension wire. So what is happening? Because see, these birds are when they are flying, and these birds are considered heavy birds, heavy flying birds. When they are flying, then their visions are getting intercepted by these kinds of wires, and when they are reaching to these wires, because their visions are not very much clear, when these birds reaches to the wire, then obviously they are not in a means position to that turn their flight, or you can say that to control their flight and take other paths. So they get collided in that, they get collided in that high tension, with that high tension wire. So the Supreme Court has also that suggested the government, ordered the government to have to give recommendations, or to means do like in that region where mainly the Great Indian West are flying. So in that region, you should not that do that kind of high tensor wire. You should not implement that kind of a high tension wire. You should do it in a grounded manner, means under the ground you should uh, use that high tension wire. So these are the main things for this Great Indian Buster here. So this much only you have to remember here. Now this was the things for this in 12th parts, in 12th number of this page number 12. Now if you come to the explain page, then obviously I have explained you about this Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, Suraksha Sanhita, Bharatiya Sakshya Adhiniyam. So that much only important, and what criticisms they have given, how the new rules are going to change, that if you have not to go in that detail, that which sections have been included, which sections have been deleted. Yes, for your informations, for your awareness, you can read those things, why, how the rape law has been amended, how it is not a gender neutral law for rape, how the UAP has been amended, how the section of this means Sedition Act has been amended, how it has changed, how community service, that it is that punishment is there for community service, what community service consists. So for different things, government has also not released that kind of a data, and definitions are also not clear for certain things. So in criticisms, you can write these points. So here criticisms are also there, some good points are also there for appreciations also. So you can remember here. So these are the things which I have already talked about, and let us now, because it is going to implement from July 1st, obviously this news will come every day on I think for 15 to 20 day, every day you will see that some editorials are there, some explain series are there on this new criminal laws which are going to implement in India. So obviously we will see every day certain points, what new points I can add there, what new points they will explain in the paper. So overall this was for your today the papers. If you come to the economy chapter, in economy this section of page number 17, then in this also nothing more important, if it is given about that yes, investment of FPI has increased. I think FPI I have also discussed you in my earlier lectures. So from there you can see this, and already I think you have read in your economy GS paper also. And this wedding industry, it is given, it is very interesting to see the how wedding industry in India is very much booming. Like if it is said that in India, that average, that what the wedding people are spending on wedding, that is twice the what overall in the educations they are spending. Like अगर वो मतलब पढ़ाई लिखाई में पूरा मतलब कि वो नर्सरी से ग्रेजुएशन तक जितना खर्च करते हैं उसका दोगुना खर्च करते हैं वो शादी में. So that's kinds of comparisons are provided here. It is saying that in Western country, in other countries, that kind of spending is not there. Means they are, if they are comparing with education, then they are saying that half of the educations what in education they have invested, that half they are spending on this marriage. So these kinds of things you can see the how marriage industries are booming, and not only the this industry, the various sectors which are related to this sector, like automobiles, consumer electronics, paints, these means means which are mainly the demand which are created in the wedding. So these industries are also booming. So this you can write here. You in any I think in your industrial chapters when they are asking that how India's industry should be growth. So you can mention this wedding industry also. It can give a new insights to the examiner also. So these industries are booming in the India. So this was overall the news here. So in FME, so this was only overall the news what I consider important for from your economic that in economic sector. So this was the news item on Indian Indian Express newspaper. So that's all for today. Thank you. Thank you very much.